Hello everyone, today we're looking at a machine that feels less like a car and more like a statement of power. A machine that doesn't compete with other supercars because it exists in its own category entirely. This is the story of the Bugatti Chiron. The Bugatti Chiron was not built to follow trends or chase lap times. It was built to redefine what speed, comfort and luxury can exist together in one machine. Every detail of this car was engineered with extreme precision and no compromise at all. At the heart of the Chiron sits an 8.0-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine. An engine so complex and powerful that it feels more like aerospace engineering than automotive design. It produces mind-bending power that pushes the limits of what a road-legal car can do. But the Chiron is not just about raw speed or numbers. It is about the way that speed is delivered with absolute control and silence inside the cabin. Even at extreme velocity, it remains stable, calm and almost unreal to experience. Unlike most supercars that feel aggressive and loud, the Chiron feels smooth and controlled. It accelerates like a continuous wave of power that never seems to stop building. And that is what makes it so different from everything else on the road. The design of the Chiron also reflects this philosophy of controlled aggression. Wide, muscular and futuristic. Yet still elegant in its proportions. It looks like a car designed in a wind tunnel of the future. Inside the cabin, everything is focused on luxury, simplicity and perfection. No unnecessary distractions, just pure craftsmanship and attention to detail. It feels more like a hyper-luxury cockpit than a traditional sports car interior. When the Chiron moves, it doesn't feel like it is trying to prove anything. It feels like it already knows what it is capable of and doesn't need validation. That quiet confidence is what separates it from every other hypercar in the world. Over time, the Bugatti Chiron became more than just a performance machine. It became a symbol of engineering taken to its absolute limit. A reminder that human design can still push boundaries that once seemed impossible. Today, the Chiron stands as one of the greatest hypercars ever created. Not just because of its speed or power, but because it represents perfection without compromise. A level of engineering where every component, every detail, and every decision was made with absolute precision. It is a machine where nothing feels accidental or unnecessary. Everything exists for a reason, whether it is performance, stability, comfort, or pure driving emotion. From the airflow over the body to the cooling of the quad-turbo system, every element is carefully controlled. Even the smallest parts inside the Chiron are designed with the same level of seriousness as the engine itself. Nothing is rushed, nothing is random, and nothing is left to chance. That is what makes it feel more like a piece of advanced engineering than a traditional sports car. When the Chiron is moving at high speed, it does not feel like a chaotic burst of power. It feels like a perfectly controlled force that is being guided with absolute stability. The way it delivers acceleration is smooth, continuous, and almost endless. Inside the cabin, that sense of perfection continues even further. The silence is surprising for a car with this level of performance. It isolates the driver from chaos outside while still reminding them of the power underneath. Every surface, every material, and every button inside the Chiron feels carefully selected. It is not about being flashy, it is about being flawless in execution. Luxury and performance are not separate ideas here, they are completely fused together. Unlike most hypercars that try to impress with aggression, the Chiron impresses with control. It does not shout its capabilities, it demonstrates them with quiet confidence. And that confidence is what makes it stand apart from everything else on the road. Even at extreme speeds that would feel terrifying in other cars, the Chiron remains calm. It behaves like it was built to handle pressure that normal machines could never survive. That level of stability creates a driving experience that feels unreal and almost supernatural. It is not just a machine that was engineered for speed. It is a machine that was engineered to stay perfect even when pushed beyond imagination. And that is something very few vehicles in history can claim. Over time, this philosophy turned the Bugatti Chiron into more than just a hypercar. It became a symbol of what happens when engineering is taken to its absolute highest level. A reminder that true perfection is not about adding more power but about removing every flaw. Today, the Chiron stands as one of the most advanced and respected hypercars ever created. Not because it tries to compete with others, but because it exists in a category where competition no longer matters. It is a machine that represents the peak of modern automotive engineering. A point where design, performance, and luxury all reach a level that feels almost unreal. And very few cars in history have ever achieved that balance so perfectly. What makes it even more special is the effort behind its creation. Every part of the Chiron reflects years of research, testing, and refinement without shortcuts. It is not built to be replaced or improved easily because it already sits at the top. Even years after its release, it still feels ahead of its time. A car that does not age in the normal sense because its engineering is already beyond trends. And that is why it continues to dominate conversations in the world of hypercars. It is not just remembered for its speed numbers or records. It is remembered for the feeling it creates when power meets complete control. A feeling that very few machines in history have ever been able to deliver. And that is the true legacy of the Bugatti Chiron. A hypercar that proves perfection is not about pushing limits alone. It is about controlling those limits with absolute mastery. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more legendary machine stories. Because there's always another icon waiting to be uncovered.